Hi guys, I'm gonna be reading a story thing based off of a quote. There is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside you. When Maya Angelou wrote these words, she understood something deeply human. Stories are not simply things we tell each other. They are how we make sense of ourselves. When experiences remain unspoken, they do not disappear. Instead, they linger in our thoughts, growing heavier with time. For many years, I believed that some stories were better left untold. Not because they were dramatic or extraordinary, but because they felt too personal. How could I explain what it felt like to miss people who were still alive? How could I describe the strange emptiness of not being able to see my younger siblings? My brother is 4, and my sister is 8. At their ages, life changes rapidly. Every visit reveals a new version of them. Every absence feels longer than it should. Yet I rarely spoke about it. Part of me believed that other people had experienced worse things. Another part assumed that just because the situation could not be changed, there was no point discussing it. The story remained inside me, unspoken and unresolved. The more I reflect on Angelou's quote, however, the more I realize that untold stories are not painful because they are hidden from others, they are painful because they are hidden from ourselves. When we refuse to tell our stories, we often refuse to acknowledge the emotions attached to them. We convince ourselves that sadness, grief, or disappointment can suddenly be ignored. In reality, these feelings do not vanish. They wait patiently beneath the surface. Storytelling is often viewed as an act of communication, but perhaps it's also an act of understanding. By placing these experiences into words, we organize thoughts that once felt overwhelming. We transform confusion into meaning. This does not mean every story requires a large audience. Some stories are shared with friends, others written in journals, some are expressed through art, music, or photography. What matters is not how the story is told, but that it's given a voice. When I think about my siblings, I often find myself replaying moments. My sister's excitement when she wants to show me something new, my brother's endless curiosity about the world. These moments are important, but they become more meaningful when they're shared. Speaking about them reminds me that moments matter and continue to matter. Perhaps this is why untold stories can feel agonizing. Humans are not meant to carry every experience alone. We are storytellers by nature. Long before technology, people gathered around fires and shared their lives through words. Stories connect us to one another and help us recognize that our experiences, however unique, are never entirely isolated. My story may not change my circumstances. Telling it will not stop time from passing or bring back missed moments. However, it does something equally important. It allows me to acknowledge what those moments mean. Angelou's quote suggests that silence can be painful. I would argue that it's not silence itself that hurts, but the distance it creates between our experiences and our understanding of them. There may be no greater agony than an untold story inside you, yet there is also no greater relief than finally allowing that story to be heard. Thank you guys. Don't forget.